In this video, I'll go over creating a job requisition for a new position. The Create Job Requisition task in Workday starts the Recruit to Hire process. Before initiating the Create Job Requisition task, follow university guidelines, policy, and any business unit procedures. As the manager, you are always welcome to reach out to HR Connection for questions or guidance before and during the process. To initiate the Create Job Requisition task, I'll type Create Job Requisition in the search box and select the Create Job Requisition task. This task has a guided tour available if I need assistance. I can click the question mark in the corner of the screen. When help is available, there will be a question mark next to each field that I can click for additional guidance. I know the correct information to add to my job requisition from pre-planning conversations with my HR consultant and leadership in preparation of creating this position. First, I'll identify the new position's supervisory organization. My supervisory organization will default in. I need to verify that the correct supervisory organization is selected. I can update the supervisory organization if needed. Note: if the correct organization is not selected, this will have downstream impacts for HR. The correct supervisory organization for this job requisition did not default in automatically, so I'll need to update this field. In the supervisory organization search field, I'll type my name, and a list of my organizations will pop up. I'll select the appropriate supervisory organization for this job requisition. To create a job requisition for students, as a reminder, these employees are in job management supervisory organizations, and the position leaves with them when they leave the position. To create a job requisition for an employee in a job management supervisory organization, I will need to select my job management supervisory organization in the supervisory organization field. If JM is appended to the end of a supervisory organization name, it is a job management organization, and when selected, it does not prompt for me to select Create New Position or for Existing Position because positions do not exist in job management supervisory organizations. If you don't have an organization assigned to you with JM in the supervisory organization name, you will need to contact HR Connection for assistance with requesting a JM supervisory organization. Now, I'll select the Create New Position button. The default worker type is employee. This is correct, so we won't make any changes. I'll click OK to proceed. Here, I'll begin completing details needed for the job requisition. Each section has an edit icon I can use to fill or change details within each section. Currently, I'm in the Recruiting Information section, where I'll indicate how many positions I have to post. I can post multiple positions on this one job requisition. I have 3 new positions I'm requesting, so I can create one job requisition for them. In the Number of Openings field, I'll change the number 1 to 3. For the reason, I'll choose Planned New Position for the job requisition. If this job requisition was to convert a position, and I select the reason Planned Change to Existing Position, in the Replacement field, I need to enter the previous incumbent's name. On the next page, I will be required to enter some additional information required when converting positions in the justification field. And for the recruiting instructions, I'll choose active posting since I'm ready to recruit for the position. If I was not ready to recruit for this position, I would have selected FTE hold. As a reminder, creating a job requisition with an FTE hold will allow you to accurately report on all FTEs for a department or business unit. Job requisitions marked as both active posting and FTE hold are visible on your manager staffing dashboard to help you clearly view and track all FTEs. Since FTE is not maintained on vacant positions or jobs, FTE will only be seen after a job requisition has been created and approved as a placeholder. A job requisition must therefore be created immediately following the departure, staff or student employee in order to capture accurate FTE for position budgeting. The recruiting start date defaulted to today's date, but I'll add a target hire date of today's date. It is recommended to leave today's date, unless I'm proactively posting for future jobs. This is the earliest eligible date to hire. The system will not allow a hire before this date. Finance will use this date for budget forecasting, so I need to be as accurate as possible. Note: an end date is required when creating a job requisition for temporary or intermittent employee types. I'll click Next to continue. In the Job section, I need to add details to the job requisition. In the Job Posting Title field, I'll enter the job posting title. This is the official title of the job that will appear on internal and external sites once the position is advertised. In the Justification field, I'll enter a justification for why the job requisition is being created. The justification field is also used when converting positions. If this job requisition was for a conversion, I would need to enter the former position number, position title, and the incumbent's name along with the justification for why the job requisition is being created. In the Job Profile field, I'll select the job profile for my job requisition that was discussed during pre-planning for this position with my HR consultant and leadership. As a note, since my position is in the health system, I must always select a job profile with HS appended to the end of the job profile name. If the correct job profile is not selected, this will have many downstream impacts and delay the recruit to hire process. In the Job Description field, I'll need to add a full job description and overview of the job if it doesn't auto-populate. My job description populated, so I'll review the job description and make changes as needed for the position. In the Additional Job Description field, it is recommended for me to add a statement that promotes the Ohio State University, my department, business unit, or any additional highlights related to the job that aren't included in the job description. I'll work with my HR consultant and talent acquisition to identify additional information to add in this field. During pre-planning, I was given information to add here, so I'll copy and paste the additional information that I have saved into the Additional Job Description field. I need to enter my worker subtype. I'll click into the field and click Regular. I also need to enter the primary location for my positions. This is where my positions will be located. Primary job posting location will automatically populate from the primary location. Scheduled weekly hours will default to 40 hours. These are the number of weekly hours required to work each week. I don't need to make any changes here because the positions will be required to work 40 hours a week. I need to enter the work shift for my positions. The positions I'm posting will be for second shift work. So I'll click into the field and click second shift. I'll click next to move on to the qualification section. In this section, I need to add the breakdown of duties since this job requisition is for a new position. In the responsibilities section, I'll click the Add button and enter the job duties and responsibilities in the open text field listed in the order of importance with the percentage of the employee's time that will be spent performing each duty. All duties and responsibilities must equal up to 100% total. I'll click Next to continue. From the Organizations section, I see that work tags populate into the Cost Center, Fund, Balancing Unit, and Function. These work tags represent a default funding that will be used if costing is missed or expired, as well as they designate the cost center that owns the position. During pre-planning, I was given the correct work tags from my finance team for my organization assignment. I need to validate that the work tags listed are correct. If not, I will need to override them accordingly. Note: if the correct information is not entered in the organization section, this will have downstream impacts for HR and finance reporting. Next, I'll review the disaster designation, meal length, and time entry method fields. Since this job requisition is for a new position, I need to add the disaster designation. I'll click the edit icon and select alternate. My positions are in the health system, so I need to add the meal length for my positions. I'll select a 60-minute lunch. In the time entry method field, I can select external time clock, Kronos web clock, or Workday time clock. Health system employees use two different time entry methods, Kronos time clock and Kronos web clock. Kronos time clock is the default time entry method and will not be assigned in Workday. Kronos web clock is an available option that can be assigned in Workday. For non-exempt employees in positions that require the default time entry method, Kronos time clock, no time entry method needs to be selected when creating job requisitions. For positions that require the Kronos web clock, time entry method will need to be selected when creating job requisitions. My position will need to use the default health system time entry method, Kronos time clock, so I'll leave this field blank. As a note, at any time after the employee is hired, I will be able to update the time entry method in Workday if needed. I need to remember all the information that I entered here. I'll need to enter it again at a later time in this process. I'll click Next to continue. Here, I have the opportunity to upload any attachments. I don't have any to upload, so I'll continue. Remember to follow department or business unit guidelines and add any required attachments for your job requisition. Here in the compensation section, I will add details for the job requisition's compensation requirements. In the hourly section, I'll click the edit icon and enter the compensation amount discussed during pre-planning with my HR consultant and leadership in the amount field. Now I can see the total base pay that I entered. I need to remember the amount that I entered here for compensation because I'll need to enter it again at a later time in this process. I'll click Next to continue. Here, I'll have the opportunity to assign roles to my job requisition. I need to assign a recruiter. I'll click the Add button and click the Role field and select Recruiter for the job requisition. In the Assigned To field, I'll select Allowed Assignees and select a recruiter. I'm navigated to a summary section where I can review the details of the job requisition and ensure they're correct. I'm comfortable with the details, so I'll click Submit. After the requisition has been submitted, the process will go through a series of reviews and approvals by the business. This process may be slightly different depending on the type of worker being hired. Note: if this job requisition is for a student, as a reminder, these employees are in the job management supervisory organization and positions are not created for them, so you will not have any of the following tasks assigned in Workday. Since my position is in a position management supervisory organization, during this process, I'll receive an inbox notification to assign organization, create position. I see that my work tags populated into the cost center, fund, balancing unit, and function. I need to verify that these are the correct work tags entered when I created the job requisition. I notice that my disaster designation field is blank, so I need to re-enter the disaster designation that I entered on the job requisition. My meal link field is also blank. I need to re-enter 60-minute lunch. The time entry method field is blank. This is what matches what was entered on my job requisition, so I don't need to make any changes here. When verifying the organization's information, I must double check that the same information entered on the job requisition is the same information entered here. It will be important to verify that the correct organization information is selected when the job requisition is created. Once the job requisition is submitted and gets to this step, you will be too far to make changes, and the job requisition will need to be canceled and resubmitted, causing the entire process to start over. I've reviewed the assigned organization, and the correct organization information is listed, so I'll click Submit. The job requisition has gone through a series of additional reviews and approvals, and now I have another task in my inbox to complete the default compensation change for my position. Here, I need to enter the same compensation amount that I entered when I created my job requisition. I'll scroll down to the hourly section, and in the amount box using the edit icon for this section, I'll enter the same amount entered on the job requisition. Once entered, I'll select the check mark to save. I'll review to make sure the amount entered was added to the total base pay at the top. Since everything has populated correctly, I'll select Approve. Up next, I have another task to complete. From this screen, I'll select Open to begin the Assign Pay Group for Position Restrictions task. Once the task opens, I'll select the Propose Pay Group field. I'll select the appropriate option for the requisition as discussed with my HR consultant and leadership during pre-planning. Note: Workday is built with rules, and you will be stopped from moving forward from here if the wrong selection is made. You will be able to adjust your selection until the correct option is selected for your job requisition. Nothing else needs to be entered here, so I'll go ahead and click Submit. The last step for me to complete as part of this process is to assign a costing allocation for the new position. From this page, review the default organizational assignments work tags. These are assigned to the employee's job and signify who owns the position and where it is housed. They also act as a safety net to provide funding when no other costing exists. As I scroll down, starting from the left to the right, I'll select the company for my position. It is important to select the correct company work tags. In the Cost Center field, I'll enter the cost center I discussed with my finance team for this position. Once the cost center is entered, I see that the fund, balancing unit, and function work tags automatically populate, but I can adjust these if needed. Since 100% of my funding is coming from this costing allocation, I don't need to add any additional work tags or adjust the distribution percentage. If I needed to fund this position from multiple sources, I could add an additional row, complete with separate work tags and the appropriate distribution percentage. Ensure that the total is always 100%. Note: OSP grant work tags may not be used when assigning a costing allocation to a position. After reviewing, to make sure that all of my information is correct, I'll go ahead and click Submit. This concludes the demonstration. Thank you for watching the Create Job Requisition New Position video for Health System Managers.